Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will create one transactional app with multi-line edit capability. It will act as an alternative to our SM30. In our day-to-day requirement, this kind of requirement will come like you have to create one custom table that should be maintained by the user. For that, we will create the custom table and we create the TMG for that particular custom table and T code. That T code we will give to the user. So using the T code, user can read the entries, edit the entries and delete the entries as per his requirement. But now what we have to do, we have to create same kind of application using the RAP. So this application acts as an alternative to that particular SM30 and it is very easy to create also. And we can create this application using the RAP generator as well. But first what we will do, we will understand the concept and we create each artifact separately and we create the application. Then we will create the same application using the RAP generator as well. With that we can understand how RAP generator works. Let's get started. First we will think that how we can use this list report page as a multi-line edit capability. There is one way. Can we do something like that? We can click on edit and everything in our main page, all fields are editable. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. This list report page, when we work with the list report page, we can't edit the data on our main page. We always edit the data on our object page. Even through when we create the new travel here, then it will appear in the object page and we create and save. And once we come back, that particular travel also it will be added here. So that thing we are sure we can't do in our main page where our root entity is displayed. But if you remember from this travel application, once we go to the object page, in the object page we can create one facet where the multiple line entries can be displayed. As soon as you click on the edit on the object page, not only you can edit the travel, but you can edit the multiple bookings together. That you can see all the bookings for that particular travel are editable. So here you can say this is travel means booking means it coming from booking table, and one table we are able to edit one place. So think like that, we have to create one application where we have to edit one table where we can edit all the entities together in one place. I can create travel and I can display, suppose I have created Z employee RAM table and I displayed the Z employee RAM table like the travel table, and user can go to the one entry and he can change the entry. But this is not good idea to do, because user have to go each and every entry inside and then click on the edit button and then he have to change. That is not the SM30 way like we usually do. In SM30, as soon as you click on edit, all the entries are editable. To do that, what we will do, instead of creating this travel entity, we can create one dummy entity here, which is not having the multiple entries, just the dummy entry with one entry. As soon as you click on that entry, this page will appear where you can edit your table. One table, suppose we have G employee table, that table you can edit in the object page. In main page we will not give any entries, only one entry we will give, that will be the dummy entry. As soon as you click on that dummy entry, it will appear object page, and the object page, as soon as you click on edit button, you can edit all the entries together. Like that we can create one application. So this is the only way in RAP we can create the multi-line edit capabilities. I just want to show you. So for example, we will create one singleton root entity. We call this as a singleton because we can start from here only the table. So there will be only one entry here. As soon as you click on that one entry, that object page appear, and there will be on top of that one edit option will be available. As soon as you click on edit, you can edit the multiple entities here. In this I put one screenshot for employee and one screenshot for the career, but you can edit the multiple employees together here, and you can just edit all the employee together, and you can, if you want to create new employee, you just have to click on create, and if you want to delete multiple employees, then you just have to select and click on delete button. And this way you can edit all the things together. This is the your object page. In one of the facet you have created the table which you can edit together. So this kind of application we can create in the RAP. That is the reason I told you it's not exactly, you will be not appear the first page itself editable, but you have to go in two step. One step you have to click here and then go to the object page and then click on edit button. But that we can do. There is no rocket science, just one click we have to do, but we will get lot of additional things here. We can do the validation, we can do the authorization check, we can add multiple fields, and we can get that in not only one table we can maintain here. If it is required, multiple table also we can combine and we can maintain together if it is required in one CDSU. But as of now we are talking about the one table, so we'll see the one table. This is the singleton pattern which I am talking about. Using that we can edit any custom table or any master data table which we want to maintain, and we want to create the application for that. For that we have to create that custom table as a child entity or master data table we can say, which we want to edit all the instances of that table together. So we have root entity, so that will be the singleton instance, that will be the dummy entity, and this is the only one entry point. We can go inside this particular child entity and we can edit all the instances of this particular child entity. The one more advantage, as soon as you go to the child entity and click on edit and edit, since it is coming from the single instance, it will lock all the child entities together, and as soon as you lock that all the child entities together, no one able to edit that particular master data table or custom table which you want to maintain. So this is the same thing we will apply in our application. Now the thing is that how we can create this particular singleton instance, and or we can say the dummy instance which we have to create, and we should not change this particular singleton instance. So that we will understand. Suppose we have one requirement, new requirement came, so we have to maintain this G employee RAM custom table or G employee table. You can create one custom table in your system. I can give you this code, or you can create any table, G bank, G employee, any master data table where we have to maintain some master data, or that is client specific table. Now we have created all this table, but when you create this table, make sure, since it is the custom table, you can add some of the extra field which will be useful to create this particular application. Suppose since I am creating the RAP application, so I want to make sure multiple user, if it is editing it, my app should be consistent. If I am enabling the draft capabilities, then that total ETag field should be there. So for that purpose you can add two additional field. One is the local last change date field, which will act as a ETag field, and it should be type of this app local instance last change timestamp. And we can create one total ETag field also, that should be type should be ABP last change timestamp. We can add this two additional field apart from this our custom table. This first thing we have to do whenever we are creating one custom table, or if you have some existing table, you can go ahead and you can add these two extra field which will enable us to create one proper draft application. So user can go to the multiple device and he can edit some data now, and after some time he can do editing later part also. If he have already draft, you can save the draft data. So those kind of thing if you want to give, so make sure that this kind of things, these two extra field we have to add in our first custom table. This is the first requirement. I know this is all about the practical, because all the concepts we have learned throughout this RAP series. So just directly jump into the system. There only I will explain each and everything, and we will create this draft enable on top of the one custom table multi-line edit capabilities application. I have already created this G employee RAM table very basic custom table you can create. Simply right click on database table and new database table, and you can give those field. And what is the field type? As of now, I didn't created any data element and domain. I directly gave this particular names, and I gave some end user text label so it can display at our end application properly. These are the fields which is available in my custom table. Apart from that, I have added these two extra fields which can act as a ETag and total ETag respectively. Now I have already created this entire application for understanding my purpose, so I can explain you better. But for you guys, let me create one new package where I can create this application. I will not gonna create this table, but I can create the all other artifacts. So I can give Z SM30 and I can give multi-line. This all the codes which I am creating for the table code or all the application, those will be available in the GitHub. That link either you can find from my channel links, or you can find first video of this RAP series where I put all the links of the PPTs and the code. You can go through if you want to check it out, but better you create yourself. That will be better. Create some custom table and try it out your way, so that you will learn better. Multi-line transactional app, multi-line edit transactional app you can give, and you can click on next button. You can use the appropriate TR. You can create the new TR. I think software component you have to use home. Something wrong I have given. Super package I have given GRAM, so it will take from that. Next. You can choose any TR. I have an existing TR I'm using. Let me click on finish. So I already have this one. So let me go to this new package SM30. The first thing I have to create the root entity. Before creating the root entity, what I will do, I will create the on top of this table one CDS view, or we can say interface CDS view, which will be using along with our root entity in our base view. First we have to prepare obviously base view, then consumption view, then service binding and business service and service binding. So we have to go step by step. So what I will do, I will right click on this particular table and I will create new data definition. I can give appropriate name GI underscore EMP employee EMP underscore as. I can give any name. You can give long name, short name, employee interface. And click on next button and come back. You have to give appropriate TR. Instead of YSM30, I will use ZSM30 package. Click on next button, appropriate TR, click on next button. You have to select define view entity instead of define view because it got absolute define view. Just click on finish button. This will create one basic view on top of your table. But in this table, what we will do, we will add two additional field we already have, but we have to add the annotations to make those fields as a ETag and total ETag field. First will be the ETag field, so we have to use @ semantic as we usually do. Semantic control space you can do, you will get the help. Dot system date and time we can use. Dot this is the local last change, you can do control space. So local instance last change 8. So this will act as a ETag field. So you can write above, so we can get to know in comment line. This will act as a ETag field. And next one, it should act as a total ETag field. So you have to use total ETag, which change it. You have to give the again annotation, semantic annotation, that is again date and time. system date and time, and this should be last change at equal to 2. This is correct. So this will act as a total ETag field. So for ETag we have to use local instance last change date, and for total ETag we have to use last change date. So when we annotate this field with these annotations, so these field will be automatically updated in backend. Apart from that, we can this is the one of the administrative field. I want this changed by field should be updated automatically. We should not interfere that, and we should not give this field to the use at the front end guy, so he should not edit that field. So let me do again semantic dot, this time control space, this should be changed by something is there, user is there, and so user last change by equal to true. This is the one we have to give. So whoever the changing last time it is the user is changing, his name will be updated here, and we will get to know last time which user updated this entry. We can use the created by and created time as well if it is required, and we can annotate with the respectively, and those field will be the filled by the RAP framework automatically when we use manage application. So let me activate this application, control F3. So we created one of the view for our base view. This is the child view we have to use as a, now we have to create one root. To create the root view entity, we will use one of the standard CDS view called I_language. Why we are using, I will let you know. First let me open this I_language CDS view, and if you do F8 on this particular CDS view, you can see for the one language we have only one entry. For example, EN we have the English, we have EN, for German we have DE, like that. For one language we have one entry. What we will do, on top of this we will create our root view entity, and we want to make sure in our root view entity we will get only one entry. That can happen if I can pass in where condition is, in particular this CDS view, if I pass where condition is the system language. If I pass the system language can be 1, and I can get the one entry from this particular CDS view. So on top of this CDS view, I will create one root view entity. So let me copy this CDS view. Let me go to data definition, core data services, new data definition, and I can create this one EI employee singleton, that is correct name. I think so it should work for us. And employee singleton, this is not the interface view, this is employee singleton interface view, I can say. Reference object, I can use I_currency and click on next button. Come back, click on next button, I choose appropriate TR, and we can choose here from the, because we want to define the root entity, we will use a define root entity and click on finish button. Now since I want to get from this CDS only one entry, I have to put one where condition, that is a very important thing, and where the language should be equal to $session system language. In that case, I want to make sure that I will get always one entry from the CDS. I don't want to get any field from the CDS. I don't need these all the values at all, because I don't want to display anything from the CDS in the front end. Instead of that, I create one dummy field which will be displayed only one entry, because I will be getting only one entry from this particular root view entity. I can create one literal, numerical literal, which will be displayed. One is a EMP singleton, something like that I can create. So that will be display on the front end. This is my root view entity. I have child entity as the GIEMP_s. Let me double click on this and use this as a This is the composition of this root entity. An association name I can give EMP, and as soon as I have association, I have to use in my selection list also. That is mandatory. Otherwise, I will get the error. Control C. Let me use this in selection. Now I have prepared my root entity, and the child entity is my interface of my custom table. I have done. Now I have in this particular child entity, I have to declare this particular view as a parent. So for that, from this table, association to parent, I can use association to parent, and I can give the parent name as this one. Control C, and I have to put appropriate condition on. And I have already one field in this table, so same field I can declare in my this interface view as well. So I can use this on the, this is the dummy field anyway, so we no need to worry. It will be not displayed in front end, neither it will be updated in the backend table. So I can use the same field on the on conditions. So for that, if I use the same field on the on conditions, so all the entries, this will act as a parent, and all the entries of this field will be act as a child. So for this, on space, control V, or first I will give some alias name is EMP is underscore SEMP, Singleton EMP, and I can use control C on $projection dot employee, that should be equal to underscore SEMP dot, currently I'm not getting any help because I didn't activate it, so that should be sampled. See, and obviously I have to, this interface also I have to declare in my list, so it will not give us error. And let me activate this, both the parent and child together, like we did for travel and booking. I hope you understood. This is simple. We have one dummy field. Based on the dummy field, I connected root and child entities, and this root entity always will be having one entry with the value 1. So let me activate and show you. With that, we will be successfully created our base PO. Like both the entries, activate. I hope it will activate successfully. It got activated, and I'm getting some warning. What is the warning? You should not have some warning. Always try to remove all the warning. Okay, we have composition. We have to give the cardinality, that will be better. This will be 0 to star because there we have the multiple entries. That is okay. Control F3, it will remove the warning as well. And now if I do F8, it will always give one entry, because always there will be one system language at a time. There will be no multiple system language. I want to get only one entry, and this will is a root instance, and this always be one instance, and for this one instance there will be all the child instance of the child instance. In the child entity we can have multiple instance that will be displayed on the object page. I can edit all the values together in my system. So we created the base view. Now we will create the consumption view on top of this particular base view. To create the consumption view, I have to right click on my base root view entity and the create new data definition, and I have to give the appropriate name. Instead of GI, I can give the ZC, V, ZC. I can give same description, and you can give the description as per your requirement. Click on next button, and that should be projection view. Define projection view and click on finish. Okay, in same way, let me create the projection view on my child entity as well. Right click on this one, new data definition. Instead of GI, I can give the GC, Control C. Let me click on next button, select appropriate TR. Again, I need to create the projection view on my child entity. Click on finish button. It will create the projection view. So we have created the projection layer. This is my projection root entity and this is my projection child entity. Behavior definition we will create, no need to worry. But first I want to see the read-only application, how it look like. So that is the basic approach whenever we develop any application. First develop the read-only application, then add the transactional capabilities, then add the draft capability. This should be our approach. So you can see age projection on this one. I think it is asking you didn't define any root keyword is missing. Define root view. Obviously this is root view, and we got one warning also. What warning? On transactional provider contactor is missing. Do control 1. This is the transactional query because we are creating for the RAP application, and this projection on this one. And something else, let me do control F3, and I have to do like this. This underscore EMP age projection on this one, or this should be redirected to child composition child. Youth, I can use this one, and this should be redirected to composition parent. Parent is there, yeah, and parent name I can give like this, my consumption parent. And this is the how we can establish the relationship between at the consumption layer between child and parent. This we know, this all are the basics. We created multiple application till now. So let me activate both the things together. So I hope so it will be activated. Select both the CDS together and activate, and with that we are ready with the consumption layer. Let it activate. Now what I will do, instead of creating the separate metadata file, you can create your separate metadata file to create the front end design, but I will add those front end annotation inside in my consumption view itself, because there are no much bigger things are there. So I can add here in, and we will see how first my read application look like, then I can add the transactional capabilities, then I can add the draft capabilities as well. To create the list report page, we need the header information somewhere here. Then we need one UI facet, which will be displayed this child detail as a list, and we will be needing header information here as well to display in the object page. And whenever we are creating this particular child, for that we need again identical reference annotations, so we can, whenever we click on create button, it will appear on new screen. For that also we have to create another facet. We can do like that multi-level. I did this thing multiple time for all the applications, so I don't want to repeat. Just I have already ready-made code, so which I will gonna use. So all the UI annotations I already created, so I can make this video a little bit shorter. The first one on my main page, this will be the manage employee, the type name, and plural name employee singleton, and it should be the standard, and value should be the, from here it should come control space, this should be employee emp singleton. This value will become, anyway this always this will be 1, so no need to worry. And for this keyword there will be only one field, so again this one UI line item position 10, and we need the facet for the object page. Obviously we need the facet for the object page, UI facet. we have only one facet which is having the line item reference. In this case, this is not the carrier. I copy pasted my old application. Employee add sort of carrier, employee multi-line edit. Label I can give employee multi-line edit, and instead of employee I have underscore emp is a association which I can use as part of this. And let me do shift F1, control F3. I created the main page. Now I have to create the object page detail. In the object page also I want to display header information. Then these all are the line item reference and the identical reference, because I want to, when I create the new employee, it should open new page. For that I need the identical reference also. So let's do quickly. First header information. See, if you don't know these all annotations, in my initial video I have explained in detail. You can go there and watch it out. And for the creation I need one identical reference. Let me put this one. The facet, this is again facet, like we created one facet to open this employee detail in another page, object page. That is the reason why we need another facet. And to display this all the line item line by line in my object page, I need this detail object page, and again in my object page, both are similar. Control V. Same way I will do for the all the things. Employee ID, employee singleton I don't want to display. First name I want to display, last name I want to display, department I want to display, joining date I want to display, and the active, the employee is active or not I want to display. Shift F1. Let me change the values. After 10 it should be 20. This is always relative. You can use 11, 12 also, but always give gap of 10. So if in between, if you have to add something, you can add easily. 40, this should be 40, and this would be 50, and 66 fields are more than enough. And other fields are the administrative field, which should be read only, and it should be hidden from the UI. You can use UI at the red hidden. Control F3. Use Control F3. Now, oh, I am getting some error. Control F3. Activating. Let me do Control F3. It got activated. Now we will create the service definition. For creating the service definition, you can click on your root view and create a new service definition. You can give appropriate name, Z service, G as ZSR as per your naming convention. You can give EMP, SM30, something like you can give. For understandable purpose, I am giving SM30. Employee data maintenance we can give, and click on next button, click on next finish button. Something else, yeah, here it will include automatically or expose this one. Let me expose this also. Control C. Your child entity also. Control Alt arrow down button. E. Let me do Control F3. Let me quickly create the service binding on top of the service. New service binding, and that should be Z service binding, Z as B underscore EMP or underscore as I can give for service binding employee service binding. And you can give the service binding time. Your should be binding type obviously should be, you can use V4 or V2 as per your requirement. Let me use V4. Let me click on next button and click on finish. double click here. Let me activate Control F3 and publish this service. Click on publish button. We close this one, this one. So it activated successfully, it published successfully. Let me select my Singleton entity. Click on preview button. I hope so. Will preview. Already have logged in. I have all the annotations. So you can see employee Singleton. As I told you, as soon as you click on go button, you will have only one entry. Maintain the data, you have to go inside. I have already some of the entries. Here it is displaying on the object page. Now till now our application is read only, so you no need to worry. And if I have another page, object page is also here. Let me come back. Now I need one edit button here. As soon as I click on edit button, I will be able to edit here as well, or I can create the new employee also, and I can delete also if I select like this. So this is how our application look like. So we have developed the read-only application. Now we will add the transactional capabilities. Then we will add the draft capability. To add the transactional capabilities, what we will do? Click on our base root view and create the behavior definition. New behavior definition. You automatically it will take the same name as your root view entity name, and it should be managed, not unmanaged. And click on next button, do the appropriate TR and click on finish button. It will create our base layer, our behavior definition. Why this is giving persistent table ST002? I don't need this table obviously, and this table is not required. First we have to remove this table. To do that, there is the only one way we can do. Have to do Control Shift less than, and as soon as you do Control Shift less than, you will get the error. There is no persistent table. So to avoid this error, we can create this with unmanaged save. This will remove our error because I don't want to save for the root entity any data in database. Obviously, this will generate some of the method in my behavior pool class, which I have generated. I declared only one at the root level because I don't want to do any implementation. It will create blank method that what I will do, I just avoid those. I will not implement those method at all. That will let it be empty. So with unmanaged save, those method will be triggered, but there is no code. That's it. And I have to remove the other errors because I declared in the strict modes. This does not exist. I will declare this class at last, so it will generate all the method together. Apart from that, I don't need create, update and delete on my root entity, obviously, because I don't want to do those activities on my root entity. So let me do Control Shift less than. I want to do obviously create by association for my employee. I want to create all the employees based on the association, and this should be obviously read only. I don't want to change this field, so that is fine for me. Apart from that, what it is, G employee RAM is a persistent table, and I'm getting some of the warning. I have to, oh, the mapping is not matching. I have to map those fields. That I can do. And key field employee ID, key field employee entity of the entity does not have the mapping for. Mapping is not there. I have to create the mapping. First, let me create the mapping for this one. I want to update and delete. Obviously, if I have update facility, then only I can edit this child entity. Update and delete I want, and create by association I want in my root entity. Let me copy the mapping which I have already created. Control C and Control V. It's simple mapping. Just we have to map back the CDS entity field to the table field. That's it. And still Shift F1. Let me see if I'm getting still error. Okay, what is this error? employee singleton is used as a parent, so on close, this means should be flagged as a read-only update. So in this case, we have one more field that should be read-only, because that's coming from the key field, parent key field. So that should be employee singleton. And apart from that, we have to make sure these other fields also. So these all administrative fields should be read-only, and you can, if some of the field you want mandatory, that you can give. Let me pass that also, it will not take much time. Something else, except F1, control F3. It got activated. Now what we have to do, let me see. I have to remove one by one all the warnings. I'm getting still warnings. I have to generate this class. Control 1 you can do. Create behavior pool class. Click on next button. Click on finish. Choose the TR and click on finish button. It will generate this class, which will be having the obviously instance authorization method. Since we have used for root entity unmanaged save, so we have save, modified and cleanup method. That's it. Control F3. I'm not gonna do any implementation as of now, and it is not required as well. And we have other warnings as well. Let me see some other warnings. Except F1, Control F3. This warning is okay for us. This G employee RAM table, G EMP singleton field is not mapped. I don't want to map this field back. That is okay for me, this warning. So everything is okay. Now next thing what we will do, we will do the ETag. So ETag field, we don't have any root entity. In root entity, if you can see, we have only one field. Where is my root entity? If I click on control click, this is root entity. I only have one field called the employee singleton. I don't have any ETag field which I can declare as a ETag. I need some ETag field obviously. What I will do, I will get this ETag field from my GIEMP underscore S. How I will get? Not from this exactly, I will get from this table, G employee RAM table. And that field, if you open this G employee RAM table, I will get the last changed 8 field as a ETag field for this one, but that field should be the last change and which is maximum. From this table I will get, and what is in this table, maximum value of the change 8 field, that will be the ETag field for this my root entity. Because that whenever that will change, that value will change, that means whenever this change rate will be changed, maximum value, that means somebody changed the value for this particular G employee RAM table. That is the reason I want this field max value as a ETag field for my root entity. To get this one, I will do simple. You can do for any table. We have to do left outer join. Left outer join, that will be the no association. So you have to join with the same table. Control C, and you can give some alias name, or if you don't on, I want all the fields from this table. For that, I can give 1 equal to 1. So it will match. This condition will match everything. So I will get all the fields from this particular table. It basically it will do the inner join. So I know full join. So it will get all the entries from this table, and I want to get the maximum. So I can give the alias name as a ZMP. Use him alias name is ZMP, and I can use from G max value of GMP dot last change the 8 value, and that should be max value of this one. Max of this one. Array, what it is happening? This is all the process we have to follow whenever we are creating SM30. So this is change that. So this, if we want all the ETags and everything we want, then we have to do obviously. So this field is we have to use is max change it. Can you name max change 8, and same we have to use Control C. This is why we are getting the error. Okay, I have to use prefix for that. For that I can do like this, C dot C, Control F3, and same we have to do in the projection layer also, obviously. For this we have projection layer, Singleton projection layer. Let me open from here. So projection layer ZC, Singleton projection layer is this one, and we have one more field here. We have to, this is the employee single on, and max change also. Let me do comma, Control F3. One of the most important thing I missed here, this all the things we have did for the total ETag, not for the normal ETag, because total ETag when we will be needing when we convert this application into the draft application. So this left outer join and getting this max value, this we have done for the total ETag, not for the normal ETag. The normal ETag we can give at the entity level, so we don't need ETag value at this value at the root level, because we are not going to change anything here, but we are going to change here. So we need this ETag master, Control Shift greater than, and normal ETag we can give local last change at field, which we have declared for the normal ETag value, and you can activate this one. And when we activate the this application make as a draft enable, then we will use this max change at field, and we will use the total ETag field. That we will do later, but we have done this activity, so we will make sure that time if you need draft application, then only we need this max change at, and we have to do this left outer one. But in this case we will be needing, why we will be needing, I will tell you, no need to worry. Let's create now consumption behavior definition. So for that, what we have to do, we have to go to the first, let me activate this existing view, and let me go here on my consumption Singleton root entity, and right click on this one, create new behavior definition. Behavior definition, where we have new metadata, new service, behavior definition. So it will be the same name. Again, this is the projection layer, so it will be at the projection. Next, select the appropriate tier and click on finish button. It will create the projection layer. So projection layer, again simple, whatever we have used at the base view layer, automatically coming as a use association. Let me go to the base behavior definition. So use association and use the update and delete operation and use this particular association. So this is the only we have used. So as of now our application is not draft enable. Let me do Control F3. Now just go to the service binding and refresh our application. Let me click on preview, select this one, click on preview, and close other old application, whatever we did. Click on go button, select this, we are getting still single one. We don't have still any edit operation here, and even we have updated this child entity is a update and delete. If you go in behavior definition, use update and use delete, but still we don't have any update and delete for the child entity. Why it is? Because we didn't define anything in my header behavior definition edit operations. Since you can't edit your header, so how you can means you can't edit your root entity, then how you can edit your child entity? Obviously this got automatically disabled. So for this case, that is the reason we have to make this application as a draft enable. Then one way, if I can do here use edit or use update, and I can define in the behavior definition here update operation as well, update and delete. But I don't want to anybody like that, anybody go there and delete this entry or create this entry. I don't want this kind of activity for that purpose, but still I want the user can update and delete the child entity. For that purpose, what I will do, I will convert this application, entire application in the draft. So in that case, if as soon as I declare the draft action, my all the edit operations will be enabled. So that will be I can easily update those entries at the my child entity level. Let me show you how it will happen. Let's quickly make our base BO as a draft enable. For that we have to use with the draft, and as soon as we use with the draft, it will ask a lot of things. First thing, it is asking for the draft. So obviously we know we need total ETag field, that is mandatory. For that I have to use total ETag. That same error I am getting. Total ETag is mandatory, so let me use total ETag. So that is the reason we have defined the total ETag field from the our table, and we can use now this max change date field from my this entity, which we are getting from G employee RAM temp as a total ETag field. That is the reason I did this left outer join, not for the normal ETag. And after that, what else I am getting? And obviously we need the draft table. So here we will create some dummy table. Obviously draft table, let me create some dummy table. Control C, Control V, ZD. ZDT you can use, will be ZDT underscore employee singleton. Let me do Control 1, create this draft table. Next, and finish. Let me do Control F3 and close it out. And we need obviously all the draft actions. So for declaring the draft action, I already have this one. I don't want to declare again one by one. It's very simple, which I have explained in detail. Control V, Shift F1. What else we need? Still we have one warning. The operation update is required, create is required, delete is required. Don't require to remove these warnings. You can use this Pragma. Will not get the warning. That warning got removed. To remove the warning, if you don't want to remove, that is fine, because we don't need this all the operation. That is the reason. Okay, and still we have some errors here. We need draft table for our this table, that is required really. Draft table G, Control C, Control V. I can use ZDT underscore employee underscore RAM. Let me do Control 1 and declare this table quickly. Let me click on next button and click on finish. Let's activate this one. Control F3. Draft concept I have explained in detail. You can go through my draft video to understand why we are doing. Shift F1. Still we have error, so let me see. Projection view, Shift F1, Control F3. The draft table is not client dependent. I think we can ignore this warning, because our table itself not client dependent. Ideally our table should be client dependent, and the draft table also should be client dependent, but both are not dependent, not an issue. So let me do Control F3, or let me go to my consumption behavior and use the with the draft. Use draft I have to use. So I have to do use draft. Use draft. And then if we are using the draft, I think we have to define here as well with the draft. And we have to define here as well with the draft. With the draft. We close this one. And that's it. In draft action also we have to use actions, edit section. So let me copy paste again these actions. I don't want to waste in this time. Control C, I can do control space and I can get all the helps, but still control V, and last use ETag we can use, because we having the use ETag, and total ETag value automatically will be used as soon as you create the use ETag. I'm getting one error. Use draft with strict draft edit must be included explicitly. Except F1. It is telling the edit must be included explicitly. I think we can use, I think we have defined the wrong place. This all the actions we have to define in the root entity, obviously. Okay, let me do there now. Control F. Now we will not get that error. And let me do Control F3. Now let's go to the application and refresh our application. Come back one step, refresh our application. I think this time that edit should be enabled, because we made our application as a draft enable. I think we did everything. Let me go to click on go button, click here. Now you can see edit got enabled. Previously it was not enabled when our application was not draft enabled. Basically, as soon as you click on edit button, this is calling all the actions from the activate action, or what we can say, we have defined this action, prepare action. In this case, it is calling the resume action, or not resume, obviously edit action. It is copying the active data to the draft table, and in the draft table basically we are editing this whole the data, not in the main table. So that is the reason this edit action got enabled. And when we click on the save, that time this activate action will be called, and all the draft table data will be saved from the draft table to activate table. So in this case, we don't require the edit action on our main entity. So that is the advantage of draft. Even you are not having the edit on your root create button or edit button update in your root entity, since you are using this actions, still you can modify your child entity without modifying your root entity. So that is the reason draft is mandatory when we are creating this kind of application. Hence we have to use total ETag, and this kind of association also we need to do if you are creating the SM30 like application. So these all the things we have to do one by one. So now let's quickly test this application, how it is working. You can see draft, if you want to save the draft, or if you want to change the data multiple data, or if you want to change one by one data, whatever the way you can do here. Suppose I want to delete, or you can delete, you can come back. Suppose I want to change SAP Tech here. I want to check SAP in SAP RAP. Let me change here SAP Cloud. Some data I want to change, I can change. This is everything is active. I want to create new, that also I can create. I have to give some data. You can see when we are creating, the descriptions are not coming. That we have to check. To check this issue, let's go to our CDS view. Obviously the descriptions are not coming. This is the consumption view. I can right click on this and go with open with this one, annotation, active annotations. With this active annotation, we can see what all are the annotations, what all are the values are coming from where. So I can see as of now we don't have anything. UI annotations are there, but there is no description is not coming from anywhere. We can see some of the description when we are displaying app, that is directly coming from our table, but since we didn't define any annotations in my, either I don't have the data element as well. So if you see my table, let me open the table, let me put everything everywhere, everything is same place, so I can quickly open easily, close everything, close others. Let me close everything. Let me go to my SM30 and let me minimize this one. And if you see active open with, active annotations, and we can open here this one. We, for the each and every field, we don't have any descriptions which is coming from. You can see we have local last change data, we have some descriptions, but for other fields we don't have descriptions. Heading, label and quick info is there for local last change, but local last change we are not displaying anywhere. Where it is coming from? This is coming from our table. So if you see our table, that we can see from here, you can open from here, control click. Since we have defined the data element which is proper, that is the reason it is coming. For other, we didn't define any data element. We define the labels. Those labels are coming only when we are displaying the applications. So for that purpose, what we can do, we can define this end user text label at our CDS level, then it will automatically come. So for that, what I can do, I can define this all the annotations once again at my CDS level. So for here, for first name, let me define here Control C, Control V. Ideally, I would have used the data element. It will come directly from data element, but let me do it quickly for here. Control V, department, Control C, Control V, joining date, Control C, Control V, employee ID, C, Control V, last active employee, Control C, Control V, step F1 and Control F3, and refresh this active annotations. I think it will modify. Okay, it modified. You can see now we are getting the employee ID description label as well somewhere. Employee ID, type with this one, identical position, first name, and not getting still labels. Press it. Or we have to define at the consumption level layer. Okay, one more thing I have to do. So we have to comment this ignore propagate annotations. So it will not ignore and it will consume those annotations. Control F3 I can do now, and I can do refresh. Now I think it should come. Let me see after refresh. You can see now label is coming. Come back, delete this entry, create new entry. Okay, let me refresh the application first. Discard this draft. Start. We come back. You might be not able to see everything. Let me refresh my application. Let me see. Before that I have activated everything. Control F3. Since, let me refresh again. Just click on go button, click on employee singleton, click on edit, click on create button. You can see now everything working perfectly. We are getting the names. This is coming from currently the CDS interface level, and we can give the last name, some name you can give. Suppose I want to give first name is a Sambho, last name is a Siva, something I can give. Department I can give as SAP, and let me give date, active employment tax. Let's, it is draft is updated. Okay, I'm not able to enter the employee ID. So let me see, still there is some issue in the our behavior definition. Open this one, my behavior definition, where it is, what I did. SM30 behavior definition, ZI, close this table. Behavior definition is read only, this is fine. This is read only employee ID. I have to use here mandatory, full space, mandatory on create, and read only update, comma, read only update. And then I have to activate my behavior definition, Control F3, and replace my application. I missed this thing. I don't know how I got missed. It got missed. Let me come back one step back here. Let me come back, refresh my application. And click on go button. Click here. I can see my draft entry as well now, but without that I just want to delete. This is not the valid entry. And now let me create again. Now it is asking for employee ID since it is the mandatory field here itself. So let me give some employee ID 04, continue, and I can give again name Siva Sambho. Department I can give any, SAP I can give joining date any date, give 23 December, active employees X, and let me apply this one. So you can see we can create the entries like this. This kind of issues will come obviously, but we should know how to fix those issues. You can see I gave the employee ID wrongly because in edit mode I can't edit now since I have declared as a read-only update. Mandatory on create, that is the reason pop-up is coming. First we are entering the employee ID, then other details. So this is how happening. This application, it is working perfectly. Create, update, delete, everything is working perfectly. You can see in the table data also. Let me show you data in table. There is the table. Let me open this table and do F8. Oh, data is not saved because we didn't click on save here. You guys not able to see those buttons. Let me show you here. Take a screenshot. We have to click on save button, then only it will be saved. Or if you don't want to save, you have to click on the discard button. But draft table is already updated. If you see and go in the check in the draft table, it is already updated. Let me show you that one. Or how we can see the draft table. Draft table we have defined in the interface view. So this is the draft table. So F8. You can see draft table we have the multiple entries. I have some blank entries also. You can see now as soon as I click on save, this draft table will be updated correctly. Let me click on save button, and if I refresh now, draft table got cleared, all the entries got discarded, and all the entries updated in the main table. If I refresh here, now I can see fourth entry. So this is how the we can do all the data maintenance. At last, finally, I have created this application in one sitting. It's very difficult to create really. I think first time whenever we are creating or second time we are creating, it will be little bit difficult, but after 2-3 times you will create with the different table, then it will be very easy because we have to, most of the time we have to copy paste the code. That's it, nothing else. So the concept remains same. What all are the things we have to do? We have to create one singleton entity. We have to do the left outer join for the total ETag, and we have to we should not define create update in the root entity. We have to define the update and actions in root entity and update and delete in the our child entity. Those kind of things are similar. That's nothing much. I will try to create this application with the rep generator. I will see how we can quickly create this application. Before going to that video, please like this video, share this videos with others as well. Whatever you're feeling, write it down in comment section and subscribe this channel. With that, thank you. Happy learning.